Well, we're joined by Matthew Sigsworth here at Cheveley Park Stud to discuss all things Mayson, 10 years on from his win in the July Cup at Newmarket. Matthew, he's 14 years old now, but he looks in great shape here this afternoon.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's just finished his 10th season covering with us. Had another busy year. And he's sort of in his prime now as a stallion, 14 years old, and had a busy season, and now looking forward to a bit of a break for a few months.
Yeah, and like you say, the breeding season's starting to wind down now. Can you give us an idea of what his daily routine would have been like for the last few months?
Yeah, he gets fed first thing on the morning, about 6:30, by John and the stallion man and Niall, and then he'd go for a bit of exercise. He'd have his first cover of the day at 9:30. Then after that, he'd go out into his paddock, and then come in just before lunch at about 1 o'clock. He'd have a groomed off and cleaned up, and then he'd have another cover at 3:30 and fed again in the afternoon, and then if he had a busy day, might have another cover at 8 o'clock at night as well.
Yeah. And what sort of character is he? Does he make life easy for the stallion men working with him, or can he be a bit of a challenge at times?
No, he's very straightforward. Very, straightforward horse to be around. He's nice-natured, relaxed, and just a real professional in everything he does.
Yeah, and if we go back to when he first came here, Cheveley Park bought a majority share in him after he won the July Cup. Just generally speaking, what sort of attributes is it that the team here would be looking for before making the decision to buy a stallion like they did with Mayson?
Yeah, the first thing we look at is his pedigree. His pedigree combines two of the leading sprint sire lines in the world today, lead by Invincible Spirit and the champion sire. And out of Mayleaf, who was a daughter of Pivotal, who we obviously stood here as well. He was a champion broodmare sire and sire. So had a great pedigree, lots of speed in there, and then obviously it's his race record. He won the July Cup, the big Group 1. He also won the Palace House Stakes, the Group 3 over 5 furlongs, and the listed Abonant Stakes. And on his final start, he was unlucky when he was second in the Prix de la Vie de Longchamp from a 4 draw. So he had the race record, the pedigree, and physically had the look. So for us, he was the whole package. He had all the sort of prerequisites to be a good stallion.
Yeah, I was going to ask, as a physical, how would you describe Mayson? Is he a typical sprinter to look at?
Yeah, very much. Yeah, powerful, strong body type of horse. And he passes that on to his progeny as well, really fills the eye, good-looking horse with a nice good walk as well.
Yeah, if we took a tour of the paddocks here at Cheveley Park, would you be able to pick the Masons out from the crowd?
Yeah, you would, yeah. No, he stamps his stock very much, generally strong horses, good temperaments, a lot of bay, solid bay colour like himself,
Yeah, and he stood his first season here in 2013 at a fee of £8,000. It's obviously a very competitive market, but was he well supported right from the start?
He has, yeah. David and Emma Armstrong, who bred him and raced him, they still retain a leg and send a lot of their own mares, as do we. We send quite a few of our own mares. And also, he's got quite a following now of breeders that come and use him every year. He's very commercial in that respect.
Yeah, and he had some success in those early crops with the likes of Global Applause, Laugh a Minute and True Mayson. I suppose it's really been the last couple of years that things have taken off again. Starting with Oxted, when he won the July Cup in 2020, that must have been an exciting day for the whole team here.
Yeah, it was indeed, yeah. He obviously emulated his father that day in winning the July Cup. Oxted had been a horse he'd been coming through gently, and Roger Teal and his team had done a great job with him, but that was a real breakthrough win for him.
Yeah, and then Oxted, he obviously doubled his Group 1 tally last year in the King's Stand, and at the same meeting, Rohan, of course, won the Wokingham as well, so that must have been a nice double for the team to celebrate as well again last year.
Yeah, it's quite incredible, for any stallion to have sort of 2 winners at Royal Ascot's a real feather in the cap, and of course Rohan, he backed that up again this year, winning back-to-back Wokingham. I think carried 9 stone 12 this year. It's quite an extraordinary win, and that was Rohan's 8th career success, having previously won the Sandy Lane Group 2 at Haydock in the Group 3 Pavilion Stakes. So just gives you an idea how tough and durable and classy that his stock are when they do race on the track.
Yeah, and I mean, how important is it for a stallion like Mayson, or any stallion, to get those big winners to show that they can get the results, and at a relatively low cost to breeders as well, at about £8,000?
Yeah, hugely important. It's what it's all about. They need to sort of try and get those winners every year to vindicate our decision to stand him at those sort of fees. He stood at 6,000 this year, covered a good book of mares again. And you know, we think at that sort of money, at that level, he offers great value. You know, starting Group 1 winners, and real tough and consistent horses. You know, horses that trainers and agents like it themselves as well.
Yeah, and the July Cup is the big race coming up around the corner, and it's the race that's been kind to Cheveley Park in the last few years. You obviously have Mayson, and he sired Oxted, who won it 2 years ago, and then you also have Dutch Art, who stands here. He was second in the race himself in 2006, and he sired last year's winner, Starman. I mean, if there is such thing as stallion-making races, then the July Cup must really be up there, shouldn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I know. It's you have to look at the history. You know, Mason's grandsire Green Desert won the July Cup, as did Oasis Dream, again from the same sire line. It's yeah, one of those races that really has, you know, got a great record of producing stallions, a stallion-making race. Yeah.